'Tis I. Hey everyone, glad to see you back, glad to see you looking fresh, and today I'm talking about Marvel Tokon, the new 4v4 Marvel fighter. Today I am going to be talking about my dream roster, I suppose you call it that. Roster I'm going to be composing of, I'm going to say it's a lot, this is a lot, 40 characters. For a new fighting game, that's a ton. And I understand it's a ton. I think this game is going to have a decently sized roster because it's a 4v4 fighting game, and that's going to need a lot of characters to balance. So I think 40 is a good, baseline. I'm not going to do DLC on top of that, so I guess if it comes out as only, 30 characters, 10 characters DLC, that's fine with me. Let me just show you guys. I'm going to shrink myself into the corner here now. So as you can see, I have all the characters that are already confirmed for the game, all 8 characters here on the roster, and I've broken them into 2 categories. So, welcome back MBC. So these are characters that have been in Marvel vs. Capcom before, and then I have New Blood. The reason I broke them up into these 2 categories specifically is because the developers did say they wanted to showcase a lot of new characters that have not been in these games before. But Marvel vs. Capcom is a huge inspiration for this game. And they said they couldn't say that word for word, but they heavily implied it. So I wanted to make sure that a lot of the Marvel vs. Capcom characters were shown off. So when breaking it into 40 characters, I'm going to try to keep it balanced. If one side's going to have more than the other, I'm going to make sure that the New Blood has more characters than the Marvel vs. Capcom side. That being said, Marvel vs. Capcom has a ton of characters from it. So let's start grabbing some folks. Let's start grabbing some characters. I say let's get the easy ones out of the way first. I think the most obvious right out of the gate is Wolverine. He's showing up. I'm surprised he wasn't part of the announcement trailer, to be honest with you. I think he's super obvious. I think that Hulk is also a gimme. And then I think that even though there were talks in Marvel vs. Capcom that this character could easily be cut, this is Marvel vs. Capcom. This is a whole new Marvel fighting game. And so, Thor, I think, is as safe as a bet. I think those 3 are complete sure bets. I think Wolverine, Hulk, Thor, they're going to be here, right? They're going to be here. That's not a problem. So let's start adding some new stuff because, as you can see, we're already vastly over on the side of the returning ones. One easy way to catch up. This is a 4v4 fighting game. Do you know what characters have never been in a Marvel vs. Capcom game? Despite Dr. Doom almost always showing up in these games? I think you get where I'm going with this. The first one I see will be the first one that gets grabbed. If I can find any of them. Mr. Fantastic, come on up. Easy peasy. Second grab is Invisible Woman. Absolutely. I will say, while I'm grabbing these, you may notice that this is very similar setup to one video I did about a year ago, a little under a year ago, talking about a potential Marvel vs. Capcom 4 roster. I believe these are the same images. There may be some new ones, maybe some missing, I don't know, from that video. But this will not be the same roster. Obviously, I can only have, I believe it was 25 characters from Marvel side, so there'll be immediately an extra 15. Then with DLC, I think it was 30. So immediately an extra 10. But even on top of that, there'll be some that were in that video that won't be in this one, vice versa. I mean, 3 of the Fantastic Four were not included in that. I didn't include the Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider, I didn't include Miss Marvel. The rest I think I did. The rest I think I did. But then those 2, and then, already some of the Fantastic Four I didn't. So that goes to show you. But yeah, if you're doing a 4v4 fighting game, just having the Fantastic Four in their very first fighting game appearance would be awesome. It'd be so much fun. Some other... They're not gimmies, but I feel ones that would just work in a fighting game that haven't. Blade, who I dropped him. I don't know where he went. There he is. The only problem with this site. Blade, I'm going to grab all of them real quick here because they just make sense. Daredevil, those are the two that are like, how have you not been here yet? And then a third one that I would include in that, not everyone else may, and that's okay. It's okay. That's where we differentiate. But for me, Moon Knight is a third in that grouping of like, how have you not been in one of these games yet, man? I don't know how. I think they could do just a super wacky, weird thing. These games are hyper anime. I say these games. This new game is going to be hyper anime inspired. So having characters with super weird personalities out the gate already would make it really easy to make movesets. Speaking of the anime influence, there is one character that has a manga right now. That's Deadpool. I think he's coming back. I think he's way too popular, and with the manga adaptation, I think that he's kind of a gimme. He's not a guarantee, but I think he's kind of a gimme. And then to close out the Avengers, part of me wants to keep it at that 4. Cap, Iron Man, Thor, and Hulk. So the 6 big movie Avengers, Black Widow, and Hawkeye, I don't know if I'm going to include them or not. I'm going to keep them on the back burner. We'll talk about them more as we get to it. One of the other characters that I think, just because, I mean, yeah, Disney doesn't have total control over Marvel, but it does have a big push in it. And I think that some characters will be pushed pretty hard. So let's put in one that I think will be. Not that I'm upset by it by any means. Black Panther in this game could be a ton of fun. He was in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which is the worst of those games, so his legacy is not strong. But it could be a ton of fun in starting in this game. We're already halfway through the roster. And we have so many more that we want to put in. See, that's where it gets crazy immediately. So where are we lacking? We don't have a lot of X-Men yet. We don't have a lot of villains yet. So let's just grab X-Men now. Let's grab the X-Men we want now. X-Men and mutants as a whole. Okay. So Cyclops, you would think I'd grab first, but I think he's too strongly attached to Marvel vs. Capcom to be included in this. So unfortunately, I will be leaving him out. It does stink. Gambit is right there. Let's grab him. Welcome back. Gambit. Rogue is a good one. I could have Rogue. Phoenix is another good one. But I could just flood the roster with X-Men. And I might later on. Here's a new one. Might as well grab him while I'm thinking of it. Namor has not been in one of these games before. And if you're going to do Fantastic Four, I think that's some fun story mode stuff you could do with him. Him and Black Panther. Just him being a total hater on both of them. So, there you go. Nightcrawler has not been in one of these a fighting game before. He could be a total blast. And then I'll grab the one that I went looking for and couldn't find for a little bit. Psylocke. There she is. Okay. So those are, off the top of my head, those are 4 more mutants. Interesting array. It's very flashy, all of them. If you know me, you notice I didn't grab Iceman, which pains me, because there is a new character, a new Marvel character that has kind of stolen the spotlight in more ways than one, and his powers and her powers are very similar. I will go with it, sure. I'll lean into it. While it wouldn't be my choice, I do think that for the overall sake of the game, maybe just to have some new faces. Luna Snow, obviously Marvel Rivals shot her way up into popularity, but like I said, if it was my choice, then I wouldn't necessarily have picked it. But I mean, it was weird because this is a fan pick. But I think that if you had to pick between Iceman and Luna Snow and who they would pick, they'd probably pick Luna Snow. So I'll go with that one. Okay. That's okay for mutants now. I obviously can grab more. We need villains. I'm gonna force myself right now. 5 villains. 5 more. We have Doctor Doom already. 5 more villains. Who do I want? I have one. I think Green Gobbo could be, especially in this art style, crazy. Crazy period. Crazy character. But in this art style specifically, insane, dude. Emma Frost. No Magneto. I'm gonna say that right now. No Magneto. Emma Frost, yes, Emma Frost. She's one of those characters that sometimes hero, sometimes villain. Same with Namor. But for the sake of the villain argument, I'm putting her for the villain side this time. But yes to Emma Frost. Plus another mutant, which is always a good thing because mutants are awesome. Ruby Thursday. Now we're getting weird. Now we're getting out there. I think it's important, and this is going to be a conversation I brought up later too. I think it's important for these crossover fighting games to have just some outlandish characters. Completely out there, why are you here kind of characters. Ruby Thursday is one of those, where her moveset will be super weird and flashy and interesting, and a character that not a lot of people will know, but they can dig into, and they can be like, oh, okay, cool, interesting choices. That's why we're going with her. So we need 2 more. It's hard not to just pick Spider-Man villains the whole time. Spider-Man has some of the best villains in the game. And then let's have a returning villain. I think it's okay to have a returning villain if I can find him. Thanos, the Mad Titan himself. Especially the flashy animations that they could put on those stones. Get out of here. And then someone from Thor's neck of the woods, right? This is JJJ. Well, that would be kind of fun. No. Loki. Personally, I don't know. Loki's a bit of an iffy one for me. I think I just like the idea of the Thor universe having a little bit more respect, because obviously you played a lot into X-Men, you played a lot into the Avengers and stuff, and the surrounding properties. And this time we're bringing the Fantastic Four into the fold. So, but yeah, so that's a good slate of villains. I like our villain slate there. 10 more slots. I was talking with Ruby Thursday. I need some super out there weirdos. One of the more famous weirdos is Doctor Strange. I'm not picking Doctor Strange. I think that he has the potential to be cool and interesting and weird. And they never do it in a cool and weird and interesting way. I've not seen it done before. So you want someone from the Doctor Strange universe, I'll give you one. But I'm going to make it weirder. I'm going to make it weirder than Stephen Strange. I'm going to make it weirder than Wong. I'm going to make it weirder than the Ancient One, okay? And we're going out there. Alright? We're going Rintra. You want a sorcerer. You want someone that has some of the powers of Doctor Strange. There you go. Have a green bull. Rintra. That's your guy. That's who we're going with. Okay? I don't want to hear none of it. I don't want to hear none of Doctor Strange talk. We talked about him. We did the Doctor Strange thing. We're past it, okay? We're past the strange thing. I want more weirdos. I want another weirdo. The best weirdo is Man-Thing. We're slapping him in, okay? So we're going in. Man-Thing. Boom. Easy peasy, okay? That's easy. That's easy enough. Okay, we can comb back on the weirds a little bit. A fun one, though. I don't know if they would do this. This is a totally out there pick. Is if they tap into some of the Western ones. I don't know if they would. But I mean, why not? Let's grab one. You know, let's grab one. Who do we want? I think just Rawhide Kid is probably, if there's a safe bet when it comes to it. Well, this is a pretty cool photo of him. Rawhide Kid would be the one. So we can go with that, right? What do we want to do with that? Okay. I like that. And our last for our super weirdos is Devil Dinosaur. I think, yeah, he's really big, but just scale him down a little bit, and you have a dinosaur in this game. Yeah, that's the last of our hyper weirdos. Let's tone it back a little bit. Let's go to some characters that people might actually know. You know who's also weird that we never had in one of these games? I always say these games. Apologies to Arc System Works. This is a whole new thing. But in a crossover fighting game like this, is Ant-Man. Just haven't had him. He just hasn't been there. So I think it makes sense for him to be there, you know? And now we have 5 slots left. I think that there are a couple more that I need to grab before I start talking about how we can just mosey around, take a peek, do some window shopping, and just pick whoever looks fun. I do want an Inhuman, at least one. I think the most fun you can have with an Inhuman in their moveset is Medusa. So I'm going to grab her, bring her on up. Black Bolt is the face of them. But Lockjaw could be fun. It's just a lot of teleporting, but I don't really want to beat up a dog. So, who else? Okay, so now we're down to 4. 4 characters left. I thought about waiting till now to drop the Fantastic Four in. But we have 4 characters left. And be like, oh yeah, this would be a cool, and then drop all 4 of them in one. Obviously we already did that though. So we are not doing that. So we're just poking. There's a couple that I wouldn't mind seeing again. There's a couple that I wouldn't mind being new. I mean, 40 characters really gives us a lot of leeway with who we can have. I think let's include another Guardian or 2. I just saw him, so I thought it'd be fun. Yondu. The whole thing with the arrow whipping around could be cool, could be fun. But now the question is, do we bring in like Rocket or Groot or Gamora or any of them? I think I don't want any of the returning ones. So no Gamora, no Rocket. That leaves Drax and Groot. I'm not opposed to it, actually. I think Groot could be fun. So I'll bring Groot into the fold. Plus, I mean, with Groot, you have your super include Rocket. So there you go. And then, sure. Who else we need? Who else do we want? Who else do you want? Who are you yelling at me that I don't have yet? I wish you could tell me. Like, are you a big Horus fan? Are you a big Jeff the Landshark fan? Are you a big Lady Deadpool fan? I don't know. Are you a big Mole Man guy? Mysterio? Nova? Paper Doll? Phoenix? Red Hulk? Scream? And Sentry? And there's so many. There's so many that we could do. Silver Surfer is one that crossed my mind because of the whole thing, being from Japan, being very anime. Silver Samurai definitely showed up in my head, but I'm just not a huge fan of Silver Samurai. Um, it's weird it being returning from Marvel vs. Capcom kind of ruined his chances more, which is backwards from what you expect. Thinking of the word silver, I thought of Silver Sable, and I didn't want Silver Sable, but I do want Black Cat. I think she could be fun. Has a little bit more Spider-Man love, which, I mean, who doesn't love Spider-Man? We have one spot left. And so, you know, before anyone comes and says 40 is a lot, 40 is a lot. I'm not going to say it's not. 40 is too many. Even just with 40, which is a ton. For a fighting game, it's a ton of slots. I'm cutting out characters that I would love to see. Iceman is not making it. Venom is not making it. Other characters that Marvel would be pushing really hard. Doctor Strange, not making it. Captain Marvel, not making it. So who is? Who is making it? I had a couple ideas for the last slot. Do I want to rank them up top? Not really. I can just say it as I go along. Adam Warlock, Beast, Beta Ray Bill, Black Widow, and Hawkeye, as I said previously. Colossus came across my mind. Crystal, an Inhuman. We have a character you could do like Drax, just bring him in. Obviously, a character like Falcon is a lot of fun. You could have another Ghost Rider on top of Robbie Reyes being in. I was joking about Horus and Jeff before. I mean, there's Iron Fist. There's Magic and Magneto. Sentry, Shang-Chi, Silver Surfer. You know, even all the ones I'm skipping over, right? There's a slew of Spider-Man characters that I didn't talk about. There's Swarm. Swarm would be awesome. Do we do Swarm? I might do Swarm, actually. Do I want Swarm to be my final? All the bug effects? That would be crazy. The AoEs, the grappling, the range on a Swarm? Because, I'm real with you. I was about to pick Ursa Major. But then I kind of thought about it, I'm like, you have Ursa Major? And there's a reason I didn't pick a character like Rhino. Because Rhino is... How do you make Rhino different from the Thing and different from the Hulk? It's going to be very tough. Ursa Major has the same problem. Swarm doesn't. Swarm doesn't have the same problem. I mean... Let me get over some of the other ones, too, that I could have included. Taskmaster was another one that crossed my mind. Ultron was another one that crossed my mind. I think I talked myself into it. I think I'm... Swarm is our last pick for Marvel Tokon. Completely weird roster. Very different, I'm sure, from a lot of people you've seen. I went a little bit against my own judgment, against my own hearts, a little bit with my brain. There go, your Luna Snow over your Bobby Drakes. But I would be lying if I said if this is the roster that came out, I'd be disappointed. Obviously, no matter how many characters I have at base, how many characters I announced for DLC down the line, there's always going to be one more that I wish I could have had. There's always going to be an Iceman. There's always going to be a Venom. Why aren't they in this game yet? Where are they at? That's just the way it is. I really like my roster. It is weird. I made it weird on purpose. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope. Feel free to go and make one of these yourself. Let me know. I almost went with 44 because it's 4. I thought that was a lot. 40's a lot as is, but 44 is just that one extra to be like, okay, so now you're just like, you gotta make cuts, right? If I just add 4 more, I'm like, okay, here's Venom, there's no hard cuts to be made. It's not as interesting, I don't think. But looking over, like I said, and here's the deal. If and when they start making announcements for more characters, if someone like Ruby Thursday or Rawhide Kid, Devil Dinosaur get announced, come let me know. I'll be bragging about it, I'm sure. I'd be stoked. And you should be too, because they're going to be so weird and so much fun. But I had a ton of fun making this. I hope you had a ton of fun watching it. That being said, if you haven't watched the Marvel vs. Capcom video, I will link it at the end to go watch that, because that video was a ton of fun to make as well. And yeah, thank you so very much for watching. As always, like this if you like this, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you at some point.